Welcome to episode 3 of the Box Office Bros. We're your hosts, Anthony, aka Disney Freak 39, and
Liam.
And we are here to talk about movies, TV, and all sorts of good stuff, so thanks for joining in. And today's episode is going to be mostly about Argylle, but we're going to be getting into that a little bit later in the episode. But how are you doing?
I'm doing quite well. Been working the blue collar shift.
Brand new job?
Yeah.
Very exciting for you.
If any of you guys thought we died, maybe some espionage. But we're back.
I'm very excited to talk about Argylle a little bit later in the episode, but we're going to kick things off right now. Speaking about Argylle, which was directed by Matthew Vaughn. Matthew Vaughn also directed a few other movies. If you're watching the YouTube video, you can see my t-shirt. It's X-Men. He directed X-Men First Class.
I didn't even see.
He also directed the Kingsman movies and everything. And you guys may remember, a couple of days ago, Deadpool 3 wrapped on filming. It's in the can, now they gotta just do all the post stuff. But Matthew Vaughn came out and said, Deadpool 3 is going to save the MCU. It is that good.
How did he see it? Is he like an executive producer?
I have no idea. I guess Ryan told him. I don't know, maybe he got a little part in it because he did the X-Men First Class. I don't know, but he says that this movie is so good it's going to save the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it's the only movie that is coming out this year. They have a lot on this movie. I don't know. I'm excited to see it though. If you guys watch our first episode, if the
twisted mind of Matthew Vaughn thinks it's good, then I'm sure that holds some weight.
Well, Deadpool 3 is my most anticipated movie of the year, so I'm excited to see this. And another superhero movie that is Marvel but is not made by Disney, Madam Web, is coming out in 2 weeks.
I had no idea. I saw a trailer on Instagram like a couple days ago, and it's like this Valentine's Day. I'm like, dude, I saw the first trailer for this like 3 weeks ago, probably.
Yeah, I know. They have not been doing good with the advertisement. They have had Dakota Johnson on SNL. They had Sydney Sweeney on Hot Ones trying to get the word out. But if you look
I'll say the trailers look horrible.
I'm on the edge. I'm like, I don't know if I like it or if I don't. We'll have to see. But have you seen Venom and Venom 2?
Bits and pieces.
Okay. And I'm sure you didn't see Morbius.
No.
Well, I like Venom and Venom 2.
I was not there for the Morbius.
Morbius was something else. And Madam Web is just like obscure character. She was in like the 90s cartoon show. She basically is the web that connects all the Spider-Men together. And the take of her with Dakota Johnson is like a new take on the character, so who knows?
The trailers look very clunky and awkward, and I don't know, maybe we'll see that one.
Well, I'm definitely going to see it. Valentine's Day, do I want to watch 50 Shades of Grey with Dakota Johnson or Madam Web?
Who knows?
But advanced ticket sales may be the worst of any Marvel movie ever. I checked today. The advanced ticket sales for the premiere night, there were 2 seats sold for the entire day. If you were looking at any other Marvel movie, it would be at least half full, I would say. Not recently, but it's kind of crazy. So we're going to see how this movie performs.
Crazy.
It may be the lowest box office for a superhero movie.
Those two that got the seats early, they're probably just trying to see how much it sucks.
I'm optimistic. We'll go in 2 weeks and we'll see how it is.
You know what else looks really bad? The Aaron Taylor Johnston.
Kraven the Hunter?
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
That does not look good.
It's going to be rated R.
Really?
It was in my top 10 for this year. Listen, I feel like with it being rated R, they're going to go a little bit more adult than the other Sony Marvel movies, so we'll have to see.
The trailer's just, I don't know.
And then also
they don't scream
5-star entertainment. I mean, it's Sony. They made the Spider-Verse movies, they were great, and then we got Morbius.
We got some shit in between.
We got Jared Leto playing a vampire. Yeah. And then Bad Bunny was supposed to play El Muerto.
Really?
And El Muerto was in one Spider-Man comic, and they wanted to make a whole movie about him. And then Bad Bunny got fired because he can't act. He was in Bullet Train, and Bullet Train was so good.
He was in that?
Yeah. He played like one of the mob boss, like, oh, I'm gonna kill you. But it was such a great movie, and it's one of my favorite action movies. Like, it's in my top 10 all time. It was so good. But speaking about superheroes, another superhero, Supergirl, which is not Marvel, just got casted So we'll just see how that turns out. Millie Alcox from House of the Dragon. I'm not familiar with her.
I didn't watch House of the Dragon. I never even watched Game of Thrones.
Me neither, so we're in the same boat. But I heard from James Gunn, who posted on Instagram, saying that this is the Supergirl. Like, they did the screen test, and she is born to play Supergirl. The other person that was being considered for the role is Meg Donnelly, she was on Disney, she was on the Disney Channel original movie Zombies, she was on High School Musical, the musical series, and I kind of wanted her to get it, but I'm sure James Gunn has an eye for good talent, and we'll have to see how this one turns out. And the final news story we have, one of the movies that we saw last year that we both enjoyed, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, has dropped the Part 1 from its name.
Yes, it has.
After it failed the box office. There was going to be 2 parts of the movie, but Part 1 is no longer there.
Yeah. You know what really sucks is that Tom Cruise campaigned so hard for Oppenheimer. For Barbenheimer. He campaigned so hard for it. Like, he is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch Oppenheimer first and then Barbie, because then it's like dinner and dessert or whatever he was saying, and he was really campaigning for it, and it ended up really killing the numbers.
And it was such a good movie.
It was.
He put a lot of money, a lot of campaigning into it, and
I was excited for a part 2.
No, there is still going to be a part 2. They promised him a part 2, but it's going to be a different title, so they're not associated. Part 1 did not make much money, so I guess by putting a part 2, people are going to be like...
So I guess they think we're going to forget about it and be like,
Most audiences, when they see the title for the next Mission Impossible movie, if it had part 2 after, they're going to be like, well, I didn't even see part 1, I'm going to be behind. So I guess maybe dropping the part 2 from the name might help the box office.
I guess. Or maybe they found, like, a better title.
Maybe. But I thought part 1 could have been, like, part 1 of Dead Reckoning didn't really need a part 2. Like, they could rename it something else. It wasn't like it was cut off in the middle of the story, just like Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, it was just a cliffhanger, really.
But it was like setting up for the next movie without like being a part 1. But we'll have to see how that turns up. And I think that brings us to talking about the movie that we just came out of seeing, Argylle. Argylle is directed by Matthew Vaughn and stars amazing people like our boy Superman, Henry Cavill, Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell, Bryan Cranston, Ariana DeBose, Dua Lipa, and many, many more. Would you like to tell the people your non-spoiler thoughts on the movie?
My non-spoiler thoughts are that I thought this movie was... Okay, before I talk about Argylle, I have to say the Furiosa trailer before this looked really fucking awesome.
There was a new trailer.
It just looked so good. Alright, anyways... I quite liked Argylle. I thought it was a very nice, solid movie. I thought the performances were all very good. The action scenes, though some were weaker than the others, I also thought they were all very enjoyable.
Visuals were great on some of those action scenes.
Yeah, a lot of cool editing and transitions.
Definitely. This movie costed $200 million to make. Apple is putting a lot of money into their movies.
Yeah, and I would say the 3 that I've seen in theaters, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, and now this, I would say they all turned out pretty good. So
what would you say Argylle would be in those 3 that you saw? Would it be towards the top or
probably towards the bottom?
Oh, okay.
But I don't mean that in a bad way.
No.
I liked
Apple
both
makes
those
good
movies
stuff.
a lot.
Apple has been putting in so many good so much good content.
See
lately.
I like that they're investing more in the filmmakers themselves, because Netflix is just kind of like get these well-known actors in, take whoever to direct, and I mean, how many forgettable Netflix originals have just come and gone?
And then you don't even know they come out. They're just on the service.
Yeah, and I like that. I like Apple's approach. Just like, here's $250 million.
Pocket change.
Yeah.
And make a great movie for us. They're building up their streaming service. It is the cheapest and it has the least amount of content, but it has the most amount of quality.
The only reason I got that subscription was to watch fucking Ted Lasso, and I didn't even watch past season 1. So
I gotta
get my subscription back.
Well, I had it for Ted Lasso, and then I found Shrinking, which, oh my god, that was 20 times better than Ted Lasso. Both great series, and I'm sure Apple has a ton of more good content on the way.
Yeah, like Argylle.
Yes, Argylle,
Which
which
if it
I
doesn't
liked.
make enough money, will probably be on streaming services in 2 weeks. The Beekeeper already is. So I saw that it's on like digital like
Oh, man.
release or whatever.
Good for that movie, but it was not good.
Yeah.
It was way worse than Argylle. So I thoroughly enjoyed Argylle. I went in only knowing one trailer, and I gotta say, the trailer they showed was very misleading for this movie, and I kind of liked it because it led to a lot of surprises, and you got to delve deep into the story without knowing where it's going. And it's an action and a thriller movie, but I would also say it has a little bit of romance in it, which I thoroughly liked. It's coming, Valentine's Day is coming up. Bring your girl, go see Argylle, and I think that's all of my non-spoiler thoughts. A lot of this movie is spoiler.
Yeah, we
So,
gotta talk spoilers.
if you guys are still watching and you have any like reason that you want to go out and see
go
Argylle,
go buy a movie theater ticket.
please go and
to
support
your
the
local
theaters.
cinema.
The last 2 weeks have been pretty rough on the theaters. There was Mean Girls, The Beekeeper, and that was really it until Dune comes out in a month. So go and support your local theater.
Yeah.
So please leave the video. Go watch Argylle. It's pretty good. You could take our word for it and then come back to this podcast, okay? We're going to talk about spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Oh my god, everyone dies. Okay, now you're gone.
So, what did you think? What did you think of all the twists?
I was just going to say that. I was going to say Argylle. Plot twist the movie. I don't think I've ever seen so many plot twists within a short amount of time. I think I counted it. There was like 6 or 7 plot twists within like 20 to 30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, and my problem with that is that the way they lay them all out,
It
it's
was
like
so
in the
confusing.
third act. It's not even. I don't even think it was confusing for you. It was just like the third act comes. The third act comes and they start like kind of revealing more of the twists, and it's just like exposition on exposition, and it's like.
You were jumping way too quick from the reveal, so before you can even develop what just happened on screen, they hit you with another plot twist, and it just made the movie confusing a little bit to me. And I would say they went a little too far with the plot twist because they kept going back and forth.
And there were certain twists that I did not care for, like. Like, I liked the father one, the fact that it was Bryan Cranston, that he got to be a bit of Walter White, and he came in with the sweater vest and the khakis, and he's acting all nice and shit.
In case you're listening to this without seeing the movie, Bryan Cranston plays the leader of the organization, like the enemy organization, and it gets revealed that he's also the dad of Bryce Dallas Howard's character, and that was a pretty big plot twist.
Yeah, speaking of villains, these villains are so generic and forgettable. Like, it's literally just like, what is the division? Well, if you want to find out, you're not going to find out if you watch Argylle. Who, what, where, why, when are they spying? We don't know.
We were talking about this with Beekeeper,
They're
too.
just kind of like a nondescript organization, and Bryan Cranston is such an awesome actor, and he only gets like one scene to really be like all hammy and evil and funny. Like, most of the time he just sits by these big, like, generic cliche screens, and he's like, get me a blah 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 visual in the here, and there's a camera and there's a guy that's like doing it.
But you know what my favorite scene was? The shotgun.
The shotgun.
I laughed out.
Yeah, that was the only time his character did like anything that was like super cool and funny, and like I laughed really hard. But it was in the first like 25 minutes of the movie.
He throws the shotgun in his back. He's like, "I'm not gonna kill you." He turns around and then he shoots the guy.
Yeah, it was funny, and he had a great performance. But I just wish I got to see more. Killing him off like first in the climax and then having like the mom character be like the last villain they fight was so fucking lame.
I didn't like that.
Give me Brian, as he was so hammy and like, man, I was disappointed by that aspect. And
so skipping to the third act, something that I didn't like is they kind of went full Winter Soldier mode because the mom starts saying these code words and then she starts like going into her evil form. Yeah,
they had Ellie or Agent
Ellie Conway.
Yeah.
Also,
what was her agent name?
Oh, Rachel something.
It was like Rachel.
Something
Kyle.
Kelly. Oh no,
Rachel,
Argylle.
It was Rachel Kyle. Like
there you go. Yes.
Yeah, they have her be like a sleeper agent at the end, and the mom has this music box that she turns, and it's just like, I don't know. I was just like, after like that colorful fight in the hallway, like seeing them just kind of like fight on like a tanker in broad daylight, and
And
they're
then
just
when-
kind of punching and kicking each other, it just wasn't really as
So when
like
Sam
cool to me.
Rockwell's character Aiden comes along and he's like, "I'm not gonna kill you, I love you," I'm like, this is exactly what happened in the Enter Winter Soldier with Cap and Bucky. He's like, Cap's like, "I'm not gonna fight you, you're my friend," and it was like the same thing.
Yeah, and then he says that quote where it's like I don't know, be with you till the end of the line or
Yes.
whatever.
And
Yeah.
I felt the same thing with the end of this movie. It was so similar. It was like almost like an AI wrote an alternate version.
But I did like the way they ended it by having Kira, like the character that was in at the very
Ariana
beginning,
DeBose,
come back.
aka Asha from Disney's Wish.
Nice.
Yeah, she shows up for the smallest amount of screen time. Like, I kind of feel bad.
But I liked that. I liked that. That
twist that
inclusion
she
of
was the fan that wrote to
character.
her.
Yeah,
That was really cool.
I thought that was a nice touch. Honestly, like I thought most of the. I liked the beginning of the movie more than the third act.
Me
honestly,
too.
like I liked the idea that the similarities between Ellie and Agent Argylle was more like metaphorical and less literal, like she was a spy. Like
okay.
I liked the idea that her ability to write and be creative and her like research, like the way she was talking about how she goes to all these areas, like I thought that was going to allude into the idea that her creating the story is similar to her like solving some kind of spy mystery, and I liked that idea. And I like the joke in the beginning where she's at the fan conference and she's like, "But if I was an agent, maybe that's what I would say." Like, I like that joke. That's a nice touch.
I will say, I
And-
didn't really mind. I didn't really like when she would keep on blinking and then switch between Sam and Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
It was so annoying.
Yeah,
It was
and
kind of distracting.
It's like I see the similarities. Like, they're both spies.
but they
like,
did it over 20 times.
Yeah, it was too much. Like, I
like
get
do
the
it like
idea.
1 or 2 times in a scene to like show the audience that she could blink and picture the fictional character, but don't keep on showing us because
Yeah.
then it gets hard to like
And-
picture everything.
Yeah, and it's just, and I would have liked it better if Sam Rockwell was in like the long hair and like the baggy like hiker outfit, and he like had to like fight all the spies on the train in these big like baggy hikers clothes and his long hair and his itchy beard, which isn't what he's used to. Like, that could have been a cool scene, but the way it just flashes between him and Henry Cavill, it's like so distracting. It just kind of looks really ugly. Sometimes it was done stylistically and I was like, oh, that's cool, but most of the time it's just like a blink and then it's different.
Like I was saying earlier with the romance aspect, that one action scene when they're in the hallway and they're just like they're dancing and there's like
Yeah.
a ton of colors and
Yeah,
love.
that was awesome.
At first I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. And then the scene went on, I was like, no, I'm loving this now. I love seeing them connecting, getting to know each other again after she lost her memory, went into a coma. I like the memories like coming back and they were getting a connection with one another and they were fighting in the hallway. And then they switch up and then they're like, oh, I'm not on your side anymore. Or was that before they switched?
No, so when she shoots him, Sam
yeah.
Rockwell, she's like pretending to be bad so that way she can get in with Bryan Cranston, and
They just did it so many times and now I'm like, what order did it happen in?
But I liked the colorful fight scene,
Yes.
and like they were dancing, and I like that the whirly bird like came
Yes.
back in at the end.
And then it was the other way around.
Yeah.
Where it was her holding
Dua
him.
Lipa, I've heard some songs on like the radio and like in the bars that I've quite liked, but she was not a very good actress.
She
was
wasn't
in
really
the-
meant to be
she
a good
wasn't
actress.
Really, yeah,
She was
wasn't
meant to
really
be
in
the
movie for
fictional
much.
version of her
Yeah.
of Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah, but
So-
like, yeah, during those lines, I was just like, yeah, Dua Lipa, I think you slay pretty hard, but
I mean, she was in
Not in
Barbie
this
too
movie.
with John Cena, so
That's true.
a little connection right
Yeah.
there. I don't know. Dua Lipa could go on and be a good actress.
I'm not
Well,
hating. I'm sure she can do anything, but in this movie,
Look at
I
Lady
was just-
Gaga.
I was just like, ouch.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, it was like her second or third acting role. John Cena's barely in the movie, which I was kind of disappointed because I
Yeah.
thought he was going to be in a lot because the marketing showed a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh,
Henry Cavill at the end being the fan, seeing what what he's gonna have to do in the next one or whatever, which I guess is gonna be linked to the Kingsman.
Yeah, they're trying to set us up.
I haven't seen any of those movies, so
he's just making a Matthew
we got a friend who loves him. So Sergi, if you're watching this, shout out to you. But I haven't seen him.
I mean, I've heard they're really good. I heard the third one wasn't great though, but I would watch.
I know that at the end they do a name drop of Adolf Hitler
yes,
before
I've
the
seen
credits
that.
roll to be like a
He's the
Marvel
next
thing.
Thanos.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I guess.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, Hitler.
But Argylle is not getting great reviews. We both liked it. I looked on Rotten Tomatoes. It's like at a 30-something% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'll quickly go and check. But
yeah, I liked it, but again, I still have a lot of problems with
I would
it,
say if you're going in expecting like a spy movie, and I don't know, you're gonna go in with different expectations. I went in without like expecting anything.
I wish it leaned more into like the idea that she was this writer and she had to sort of and
not
create
an
the
agent.
story, and there were sort of parallels there between like that and like her being a spy, and she sort of sees herself becoming like Agent Argylle, and the movie could play with that like really funny. But like I don't know, I didn't really care for the idea that like she was just another spy and she forgot and they made her this whole other life and like blah blah blah.
Like if you think back to the I believe it was the second half of the movie, it might have been the first half, where she's about to step on the guy's head and she was like, do I do it? Like I can't do it. And then you have Aiden being like, you can just do it and just like smash like this. And she was conflicted. She doesn't want to take a life. She's never been a part of this. So I thought it was, I don't know, her switching up and then just killing a guy, right?
I don't know how she was able to like forget about all her memories, and then all of a sudden with one conversation of Samuel Jackson, that's like all it takes for everything to come back to her.
Yeah.
But they also said it was kind of in her because she was able to write a whole book series all from like her past life, which like that's kind of lame. Like why can't she just be a good writer who like came up with a funny and coincidental universe?
No, but then it wouldn't make any sense on how everything is happening. Exactly.
I mean, nothing. I mean, it doesn't have to make sense. Why is she able to ice skate on knives and an oil
that was a cool
slick
scene.
Really?
I
didn't care for that one. No. I thought it was kind of lamely choreographed and looked like shit.
I thought it was really cool until she got to the dancing, the spinning with the gun. But I thought the way she took him out was kind of cool. But then when she got like,
I just thought it was choreographed terrible. Like a lot of knives just kind of loosely going past guys' legs and somehow they die. Like that would just be a little scrape on you.
Also, can you even scrape? Can you even skate on oil?
I don't know.
It's like liquid. I thought you only
I guess
skate
she
on...
just somehow remembered. Yeah, the way the memories come back, it's just kind of at random.
Let's talk about the cat, though.
The cat was awesome.
Oh my god, I don't remember what the cat's name was. What was
Alfie.
it? Alfie, yeah.
The cat was an awesome character.
And then when you think the cat is gonna die,
yeah,
like oh my god, you're about to shoot the cat.
Yeah.
And then
the
cat saves the day and scratches out Bryan Cranston.
I like that the cat got to do something, but I hate that Bryan Cranston just got shafted from like the whole climax of the movie. Like he just didn't do anything except say, "Get me a blah 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 view in the hallway. Coming up, sir." It's so like generic and cliche.
So I checked. Argylle's at a 37% with 140 reviews.
What's the aggregate scores? I haven't checked this one.
Well, the audience score didn't come out yet, so I'm not sure. So it seems like 5 out of 10. It's saying for the critics. Oh no. Top critic. 4.1 out of 10. I mean, I would give it a positive. I would say if I would give it positive or negative, I would give this movie like a 6 or 7 out of 10.
I would give this movie a 6 out of 10. Like I had a lot of problems with like the directions the story took, and like when they start laying all the twists on, and they have to do all the exposition and shit to like explain
to the
what's happening. The movie just slows down like so much. And, like, the vibes were just better, like, in the beginning with it.
I think if they were going to do the twist that she's an agent and then leave it right there. Don't do everything else because it made it way too complicated with the parents and everything.
Yeah.
And, like, brainwashing their kid.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be like, where are your real parents? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I would give this one a 6 out of 10. I would say it was solid. It was a,
I don't know if I would
good enough
rewatch
time
it,
in
though.
yeah.
I would maybe skip to like some of the scenes, like the action scenes, but I don't know if I would rewatch it from start to finish because I think it was a 2 hour and 20-minute movie.
Yeah,
so
it was a
kinda
long
yeah.
one. It was a long one.
I would say
I was getting to a point where I was like, right, can we start wrapping this up? Like,
I honestly think it takes its time to set it all up, and then once the twists happen, it pretty much like ends within like 30 minutes of all the twists. Like, it took a while to get to the agent twist where she's on the farm and she finds out that she's an agent.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where else they would have revealed that
because they said they didn't want to
aspect.
do it too
Yeah.
early on, and it makes
Samuel L. Jackson was also very underutilized. Like, I
Yeah.
think it's funny that like he has this big this
TV,
this big
projection
like
screen.
CIA like ginormous
You have, like, the socks
monitor, and
above.
he's watching like LeBron highlights and shit. I liked that.
And then he's just
but
raging every
just
time he gets
doesn't-
paused.
Yeah, he just doesn't get to do anything else really. He doesn't even get to like pop off because the movie's PG-13.
They said one F-bomb in the
Yeah.
entire movie.
Yeah, and there's all like the bloodless kind of gunshots,
Mm-hmm.
which just always look like really weird to me in like PG-13 movies. And like, I don't know. I mean, I don't need like more violence or anything. It just always looks.
I mean,
weird.
if it services the story, then I would say go for it. But I don't think
Yeah.
this one needed it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of movies that can run with the PG-13, and then you think about other ones, and you're like, no, this movie had to be rated R. But do you have any other thoughts on Argylle before we move on and just talk about whatever else we want to talk about?
Argylle, Agent Argylle.
Maybe
we're moderately alike. I'll give you a 6 out of 10.
I'm gonna go with a 7. I might be conflicted and put it back down to a 6, but right now I'm going with a 7. I would definitely want to see a sequel for this movie if they do end up tying it with the Kingsman movies. I don't know how that's gonna work. I honestly thought the Kingsman movies were like the early 1900s, but I guess it was like what 90s or whatever. You wouldn't know either.
I didn't see.
Basically, there's a mid-credit scene that says 20 years earlier, and it tries tying in with those movies. I'll have to check them out, though. I'm sure Matthew Vaughn did a great job directing them. I mean, I love X-Men First Class. I enjoyed this one, so yeah. What else has he directed? Anything else?
What else has the twisted mind of Matthew Vaughn made? I'm not sure.
Well, I'm sure he's made a lot of great stuff. I'll have to look into that.
I think he I don't know. I'm not sure.
But yeah, that's
we gotta cut this. We gotta
Matthew
cut
Vaughn.
this one out of the episode where we're just like, yeah, I don't know anything about this guy. We gotta cut this part, or maybe we could leave it in. What do you guys think? Should we leave it in?
We'll leave it in.
We'll leave it in.
It's better. So he directed Kick-Ass.
Oh yes, that's what
That's
he
the
did.
other
Yes.
big one.
Yeah, Kick-Ass is pretty good.
But yeah. So that was Argylle. What's the next movie we're gonna see? I guess Madam Web.
We could see Lisa Frankenstein.
Oh, I do want to see that. We can do a double feature.
Yeah.
Also,
Valentine's Day movie.
for Valentine's Day, I'm thinking next week. Are you a fan of romance movies?
I don't hate him.
Okay, because I think it's like my top 3 favorite genres of movies, and I kind of want to do like a top 3 or top 5 next week on our top 5 favorites.
Of romance movies?
Yeah, I don't know if you can come up with that.
I mean I can, but it's not a genre I'm particularly
Should I just talk about it today, like some of mine, or should we just wait till next week? Okay. Valentine's Day is coming up, everyone. Liam?
I'll talk about some. I have a few romance movies that I like, and we'll talk about them.
Here, distract the camera while I get something.
Oh,
Hold
okay.
up. Go talk about whatever you want.
So, all right, I'll go first for. Oh, I see.
Get a little romance in here.
Yeah.
Get a little.
What a fabulous bouquet.
If you guys are listening on Spotify, Apple, or anything else, make sure you come to my YouTube channel at DisneyFreak39. You can see what we have as a centerpiece to talk about romance movies.
Yeah.
So,
you want to go first?
I love romance. I love rom-coms. They're right up my alley. I'm gonna start with my number 3 spot for my favorite romance movie.
I could think of 3 right now.
Okay, so you want me to talk about my 3 and then you can go while you think?
No, we'll go. I can.
Okay,
I can
you
think
could?
Of like
Okay, my 3rd favorite romance movie is La La Land. What a great movie.
This has been on my watch list for a very long time.
I can't lie. I watched it in the last year for the first time, so I'm kind of late to the party too. La La Land is amazing. I won't talk about it in spoiler details, but let me just tell you, if you've never seen it, go pop down on your couch and go and experience La La Land this Valentine's Day. Oh my god, it takes so many different like heights. You're happy, you're sad, you're singing, you're dancing, you're crying. Go watch it. That's your homework for the next time we film, is to watch La La Land. Do you have a number 3?
My number 3, again, I'm thinking of this on the spot,
Yep.
but
No pressure.
and let's see, because I guess this technically isn't a romance movie. I'm gonna go with Pride and Prejudice, the 2005 adaptation with Keira Knightley.
Everyone loves that.
Yeah, it's a good one. Rosamund Pike's in it. She gives a good performance. The score is fabulous, and Matthew McFadden, I believe is how you say his last name. He does a very good job of the like the British lover who you come to love, because they got like an enemies to lover.
McFadden?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he does a good job in the movie.
This is the movie where he like waves his hand and he like shows that he's like, or he takes his hand and he like spreads the germs off of her.
Maybe. I haven't watched it in a while.
Oh, there's a scene that went around on TikTok, and basically they touch hands and then he like sheds off her like, I don't know, her germs because it goes against his religion. I don't know.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I don't remember that anyways.
Well, never mind. Okay.
All right.
So my number 2 is gonna be the hit 2010 Disney movie Tangled. Tangled, best Disney animated movie of all time, not counting Pixar. Flynn Rider, Rapunzel, the most perfect couple ever.
Best?
Yeah. Yeah?
I disagree.
What's your favorite Disney movie?
My favorite Disney movie?
Animated, not Pixar.
Animated?
Yeah.
Probably either Beauty and the Beast or The Lion King.
Okay. Lion King, okay. I mean, Beauty and the Beast.
Why wouldn't you say Lion King?
That just doesn't pop in my head for a romance movie, but you're right.
I mean, I thought you were saying Disney in general.
You're right. I'm lying. But I'm like, yeah, can you feel the love tonight? Okay, valid. You know what my second favorite is?
What?
Wreck-It Ralph. I was a Gen Zer, everyone. I was born in 2002.
Alright, your second favorite romance movie. Go
Tangled.
on.
You guys know I love Tangled. If I could do anything with my future girlfriend, I would want to go and take the lanterns and float them up into space. That would be the perfect date. Have a little picnic or whatever, and then
it is a good scene.
Sing the duet together.
I
could sing the part. I'm not the best singer. I had a chorus solo in 8th grade, so maybe I could be a singer one day. But yeah, do you have a number 2?
You know what? Since we were talking about it and got my my mind rolling, since you went with the Disney movie for number 2, I'm actually gonna say Beauty and the Beast right here for this shit.
The live action? Okay. What's wrong with
the Beauty and the Beast from the 90s, the original one.
1991.
It's so good, man. I literally I remember even
oh shoot! My computer's off. The audio. Whoops. Oh, it's still recording somehow.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, continue.
Yeah.
No, because I shut my computer. I'll keep this in. This is a blooper for you guys. No, I shut my computer off. I had it closed and I thought it would not be recording, but it is still recording. Continue on.
That's how these things work.
That's very cool.
I remember being like a little kid before I was even critical about movies and being like, damn, this movie's crazy. When they're dancing and they're and there's that sweeping shot and they're in that big ballroom and Be Our Guest.
CGI
Be Our Guest is such a classic, and Gaston, what a
man.
A devilish little bastard he is.
I would say he is the best character to meet in the Disney parks.
I don't think I ever.
Have you ever seen that viral video of him doing push-ups where some guy challenges him to a push-up contest? Okay. I'm a Disney Parks guy. Okay, continue on with Beauty and the Beast.
But yeah, Beauty and the Beast, great movie. What's your number 1?
Do you think you know? I'll give you a hint. It's another Disney movie.
I can't say I know.
It is the first movie I ever remember seeing in a movie theater. The hit 2007 movie Enchanted with Amy Adams and Patrick Dempsey. I love Enchanted so much. I just rewatched it a couple of days ago. The song that is played at the end of the movie, So Close, when they're in the ball, was my number one most played song on Spotify in the last 30 days.
Really?
Yeah. So close.
I haven't seen that movie in years.
Well, you got to. Don't see Disenchanted, though. That was one of the worst sequels I've ever seen to a movie.
James Marsden's in that.
Sonic.
Shout out my boy.
Sonic, Parks and Rec.
Cyclops. Yeah, and the Bryan Singer, or He Who Shall Not Be Named.
That was him?
I just named him. Yeah, that was James Marsden in those
I didn't
movies.
realize that.
Mm-hmm.
I like those movies, though.
I mean, yeah. They have their moments, but they were made by a very, very bad person.
Wait, why?
Bryan Singer?
What do
you know what he did?
Do I want to know?
Probably
after the podcast.
Yeah. Don't Google Bryan Singer allegations. Worst mistake of my life. It's horrible. Well, it's horrible. He's a scumbag.
Enchanted. I love how they take the 2D animation and then they bring it to the live action. I love the transition, and it just makes you wish that we got to see more 2D animation these days and not 3D animated that looks like 2D.
Give me some classic 2D, man.
And they taken all of
I think all the Spider-Verse animation is really cool and all.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, looks awesome.
Puss in Boots.
But like, just give me some classic cartoons, man.
That's sometimes what we want.
Where's the times gone?
And I feel like I like how they incorporate, like, you know, your Disney stuff into the movie, but it's not like how they did it with Wish, which you didn't see that movie, but in Wish they shove it down your throat like, oh, this is a reference to Disney. Or in Enchanted, it's more subtle, and it's like you have the Disney tropes, but it has its own story. And I just love the romance between the two characters. So, what is your number one favorite romance movie? Or you don't have one?
Titanic.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a Titanic defender. I think
people hate it.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
I mean, anything popular.
I've only seen the third act of the
usually.
movie. I've never
Really?
seen the full movie.
Titanic's a banger.
Mm-hmm.
I just love like that trope of like, oh, he's the poor boy and she's the uptown rich girl, and she goes dancing in the poor boy's like pub, and she learns how to live loose like she's always secretly wanted to, and then there's like the rich lover, and he's such a dick, and he's like, Rose, this Jack fellow, he's not very good at courting you. And yeah, you know what? Someone tried to kill James Cameron on the set of that movie by spiking the communal clam chowder with PCP, and like mad people went to the hospital.
Who was the person who laced
Paxton.
it?
We don't know.
On the crew?
We don't know, but
Dang. Well, I'm happy he's still alive. He's gave us Avatar, Avatar 2, Avatar 3,
dude. Every time
Avatar
that new Planet of the Apes trailer like plays in our theater, for the first like 0.5 milliseconds, I think it's an Avatar 3 trailer because of the fucking shot of the woods and the music and the first bit of the narration. It sounds like fucking Jake Sully being like, "Another world, Pandora, and the last time we learned what it meant to be a family." It's like always just gives me that kind of vibe. And for the first like 0.5 seconds, I'm like, holy shit, Avatar 3. And I'm like, oh no, it's
it was supposed to come out in December, but it got pushed back because of the actor strike. We'll see it.
Yeah.
We'll see them all. Hopefully he can stay alive to produce all 7 or 10 of them.
Yeah.
So,
my boy James Cameron.
Titanic is your number one. So just my number 3, La La Land. My number 2, Tangled. My number 1, Enchanted. And your top 3?
I want Pride and Prejudice. I want Beauty and the Beast. I want Titanic. What I was going to say for number 3, I was going to say Little Women, because, like, the fact that it, like, doesn't have to be a romance story, and there's, like, a little bit of romance in it, you could say it is, but I would say that's using the word romance genre, like, pretty loosely.
Do you have any favorite rom-coms?
I mean, I don't know. I've seen some, and I've liked them, but, again, I don't frequent
That's my type of movie, but most of them
much.
are like streaming movies and they aren't really that good. But like I was talking about in an earlier episode of this podcast, the new movie Anyone But You with Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell was really, really good, and I highly suggest you go and check it out. But yeah, that was our top 3 favorite romance movies. Let me know this Valentine's Day, what movie are you going to delve into, rewatch, or maybe watch for the first time with a loved one? Let me know, because I wouldn't know what it's like. I'm single.
I'm sorry, my boy.
It's okay. It's fine.
Well, at least we'll have a date together this Valentine's Day, seeing Lisa Frankenstein and what was the other
Madam
movie we
Web.
see? Madam Web.
Madam Web.
What a
What a movie.
What a romantic night it's gonna be. Yeah.
I can't wait to see Sydney Sweeney's Spider-Woman with Dakota Johnson. We're
And,
getting 50 Shades of Web in this one.
Oh. The Madam Web.
But yeah, I think that might come to a conclusion for this episode of the Box Office Bros. I'm very excited to see what movies come out in the next month. Lisa Frankenstein, I did see a trailer on TikTok for it. It looks really good. Cole Sprouse, Catherine Newton, and then we have Madam Web coming out.
I'm excited. I get to see a horror movie with you.
Is that a horror movie?
It's a horror comedy.
Is it gonna be scary?
I don't
There
know.
better not be a jump scare. I swear to God.
I don't know.
I don't like horror. You're gonna learn about that, but I will not watch a horror movie. I hate jump scares. I watched Five
Isn't
Nights
it
at Freddy's
crazy,
though.
man?
I watched Five Nights at Freddy's because my community on Twitch begged me to watch
I liked
it. It wasn't that
the
scary.
Five Nights at Freddy's movie and all.
I did
but
too,
That
but
was
it
a
wasn't
lame.
great.
That was a lame horror movie for you to see.
Yeah, I know. I think there was only one jump scare that got me in the entire movie, and that's not typical for me
I
because
was.
I'm scared of everything.
I was never remotely scared.
Did you ever play the games?
Yeah. Well, the games were scary, but the movie wasn't.
Yeah, the games are
The
scary.
games were
and then
quite scary.
looking forward into March, your movie Dune.
Yeah.
Did you see? Dune 1 got re-released in IMAX.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
And I signed myself up for the Fandango notifications to tell me when they released, but I didn't get them. So
Maybe you could do a double feature. You go
Yeah.
at home on the small screen, then you can see on the big screen. I'm going to see Dune 2, even though I didn't really care for the first one. Just like how I'm going to see Furiosa, and I didn't really care about Mad Max. But, yeah, that's everything that we have to talk about today. We talk about Argylle. We talk about some movie news. We talk about our favorite romance stuff. So, let me know, guys. Again, if you saw Argylle, what were your thoughts? And what is your favorite romance movie of all time? And anything else you want to say? You want to shout out anyone, or... whatever?
So yeah, next episode we got a double feature coming,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll have something longer in mind
Ooh.
for an episode before Dune, I think.
Okay.
Because there would be like a nice
Yes, a
2-week
nice-
gap
yep.
there where
Maybe
you
a
can
ranking?
plan something out. Maybe a ranking.
We'll see. We're not going to do the Marvel ranking yet. That will be coming
Not yet.
towards
Not
after Deadpool 3, but that's going to be probably
Yeah.
the best episode this year.
Yeah.
I got to rewatch a lot of Marvel stuff.
I gotta watch a lot of Marvel stuff.
You haven't
for the
even
first
seen it
time.
all.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't wait to see all those however many TV shows.
8,
It's gonna
9,
be so
20.
much fun.
You want to count the Netflix stuff since it's now canon to the MCU?
Yeah, Jessica Jones.
Woo! Thank you guys so very much for checking out episode 3 of the Box Office Bros. Also, we now have an Instagram page that you can go and follow and see some clips from every single episode at Box Office Bro. Don't put an S, someone else had that, so it's just Box Office Bro. Follow me everywhere at DisneyFreak309. If you want to follow Liam.
You can follow me on Instagram. You can find it in the description.